Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a quick tactics talk. Let's talk caveman info on modules. Have you ever had this happen to you right here? Imagine you're the WZ-114 1-4. Oof. Ammo racked, my friends. Ammo racked. Is it hacks? Is it cheats? No, it's module damage. Let's talk about it. All right, I'm going to give you the caveman version of this, down and dirty. I am getting this information off of 13 Disciples' fantastic website, 13disciple.stream, and in here, number 5, module damage mechanics. So if you want to get the down and dirty and a bit more detail, jump into this. But essentially, the idea here is when you shoot a tank and penetrate, you're going to do hull damage. That's the basic hit points of the tank. There are modules involved behind that, inside the tank, that the shell can then travel into and damage. They have their own hit points and they have their own rules for how they might get damaged, or in the case of the ammo rack, explode. All right. Here's an example right here of a tank showing the hit boxes inside. I'm going to give you an example of the WZ here in just a minute, but we're going to talk about essentially how this happens. So AP, APCR, and heat. I don't know if this is updated here with the new stuff for HE, but we're only really talking about AP, APCR at this point. So it talks about once you penetrate the hull, then it does the RNG for damage to your tank. That's the hit points in the bottom left, or the overall hit points of your tank. Then it has a chance, based on some other math of damaging modules or destroying them. So if we go down here, when a module or crew is hit, they may not necessarily take damage. There's a saving throw. This is where you get these critical hits and things that you hear. I'm going to show you that whole sequence in just a minute, because you're going to hear a critical hit on the side of that WZ-111 earlier, when he shoots at him earlier than the explosion there. Okay, but it has a saving throw, a dice roll, to determine if the crewman or module takes damage. War games are pretty similar to this. Here are the base damage percentage chances. We go down here to the ammo rack and it's only 27%. The damage then at that point, and each gun has its own module damage amount, is believed to follow RNG plus or minus 25, but there's some hidden stats and other such. You can read about it there. But so essentially, you shoot, you pen, you do hull damage. If you happen to also hit a module or a crew member, there's a saving throw for whether they take damage, and then there is an RNG roll for the module damage for your particular gun. That is the caveman version of it. Obviously, if I missed something or misspoke, you guys chuck it down in the comments. I want to bring this up here as a quick tactics talk, though, because people don't really understand a lot of times what's going on, and they just get mad that it's all rigged against me and I got ammo racked, and it must be wargaming cheating at that point. You can get a basic idea of what's damaged. Obviously, down there on the bottom left here, you can see these two situations where it tells you what's damaged and what is destroyed. Okay, damaged and knocked out. There is a secondary effect potentially for things like ammo rack. You can, with a red module, get the vehicle destroyed, unless you don't have any rounds in there, from an ammo rack, because it's been reduced to 0 hit points. And there you go, ammo rack detonation. So that's the general idea of what's going on there. Let's take a quick look at the WZ here, which is what he just destroyed. Let's spin it around the direction he shot it at, and you will notice that he was shooting it in the left front quadrant right here. And what is the yellow guy? It is an ammo rack that has 210 hit points. So he reduced that ammo rack down to 0 and got himself a detonation. He's running a 1357, which has fairly low overall module damage, but it shoots a whole bunch. We also don't know if potentially this thing took damage from somebody else, but we're going to watch the whole sequence, though, as we go here, and you're going to see that ammo rack. Obviously, it explodes because we've already seen that right there. But you can see the other modules. There's an ammo rack right there. This thing has a lot of ammo racks. We have a fuel tank on the side. We have an engine right there. Another fuel tank on the other side. So that's where all of these things exist. Hey, check it out. I believe this is the commander right here. We click on that, commander. This site is called wattinspector.com. Highly recommend, if you want to see how all the mechanics and the way these things work, to take a look at that. This is the radio. You know, dang it, you got my radio. Driver right here. Who else we got in here? Where's our other fellers? We got the loader. He's over on the left side. I will tell you, as you're getting mad potentially about cheaters and hackers, there are people with that kind of memory who have a general or very specific, potentially, idea of where all these things are, especially in competitive clans. My hair's all jacked up. What's going on here? Especially in competitive clans where they see the same tanks over and over. So if you feel like you're getting ammo racked a lot by a very good player or clan, when you're fighting against them over and over and over with very similar or the same tanks over and over again, you are, because they know where to hit you. So let's take a real quick look at it, and we'll be done with this quick. So I've reversed this to earlier in this fight. You can see the WZ-111, the card for it, or the marker is coming from right to left right here. It's about to uncover. Nona has 4 shots, and watch what happens right here. And I want you to listen. I'm actually going to zoom out. So I want you to listen to what you hear here. WZ's moving in. Nona's looking for shots. Here he comes. This is what Nona's doing. He's getting ready to shoot him. Critical hit. All right, so he doesn't have the skill, apparently, that tells you what's damaged. I can't prove that that is what happened as far as the ammo rack took a hit. I suspect it did, because that's the side it is on, and that's the side he's about to shoot and cause the detonation on. It looks like nobody else hit the WZ other than Nona. So even with this little pew-pew gun, he's doing enough damage here and getting good rolls in terms of the thing is not making a saving throw. So he's completely out of shots. He's going to get up in here and hide as long as he can. We'll see what we get here. We get loaded, and watch where he's aiming. Right where that ammo rack's. Boom. And just like that, gets the 1400 damage ammo rack. Are you going to do that every time you shoot where the ammo rack is? No. The saving roll is relatively robust for ammo racks and for situations like this, because we don't want to have ammo racks constantly in the game. That would be kind of random and not very fun. But it is a pretty cool thing that can happen, and now you have a little bit better idea of the mechanics. Again, it's the caveman version. I haven't got into this very specific details. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there are some other specific things going on in there. But I highly recommend 13 Disciples page to check that out, and wattinspector.com, which is going to help you find out where those particular spots are. That's all I've got for today's quick tactics tip. Hope you have a good one. We will see ya.